it's Tommy, and today I thought we would smoke some, drink some, and pull a card for you and for me from the Afro Goddess Tarot Arcana. I'm looking to get some wisdom, and I realized I was like, oh, I love this deck, but I don't think I've really used it on this channel yet. So let's get into it. It's a very voluptuous deck, a very curvy deck, sensual deck. All right, I love this deck. I was gifted this deck by the creator. Can you believe it? I prayed for spiritual black girls once. Remind me to tell you that story. Or probably 100 times I prayed for it, but there was one very powerful time I prayed for it that sticks out in my mind. And this is one of those beautiful types of gifts that I've ended up with because of that. This deck is by Andrea Furtick. And let's get into it. Look at this. Have I done a review on this? I have not done a review on this deck yet. I have to do reviews on this deck. I have to do reviews on this deck. It's gorgeous. This is one of the decks that I helped its Kickstarter. I've only been able to do that with 2 decks. It was this one in the Black Gold Lenormand deck, which also reached 100% a couple days after I helped through Spiritual Black Girls, which it's just a blessing to be able to help people reach their goals, connect with the people that they want to connect to. Y'all, I was watching, what was I watching? I forget his name off the top of my head right now. I'll put a link down below if I remember. So, I think his name's Caleb. I'm sorry, don't quote me. I've been watching him for over a year. I don't know what's wrong with me. Years I've been watching this person. I don't remember their name. But he was schooling somebody about the bus stop boycotts. Some fool who I'm pretty sure is not a descendant of the enslaved black people of America. I'm pretty sure he's like an immigrant black person, like maybe 2nd or 3rd generation immigrant. And he was like, why didn't they just take a taxi? And so the YouTuber went on to give this beautiful rendition of the history of everything, and explain how black people were just so separated, right? When they were doing redlining, it wasn't like, it was just a straight ass line. Oh, this is your half of the lint. This is my half of the lint. What is that from? Courage the Cowardly Dog. Did anyone watch that show, Courage the Cowardly Dog? That's one of my favorite cartoons ever. And there's an episode in there with like this lint lady who's like obsessed with the lint. Like she's like in the vacuum maybe when they get there. I don't remember. I just remember when they reach her, she's like, oh, newcomer. She's like, that's your half of the lint. That's my half of the lint. And if you remember that, there won't be no problems. Y'all, why am I just going off into random tangents about cartoons? Okay, I'm trying to bring this back. Full circle. Okay, so basically, to make a long story short, he was talking about how everybody was so separated, right? You had to use the bus because they were on that corner of the town, They were giving you just random shitty parts of town, you know? If this happened to be by, like, the highway entrance or, like, the highway crossroads, you got put there. If this happened to be by, like, the dumpster or where they were putting, you know, nuclear waste, you got put there. It was very random, and it wasn't just like this perfect clean cut. And this is the black people side of town, and that's the Latino side of town, and that's where you know what I'm saying? It's kind of jagged when you actually look at these situations. So you had to use the bus to get to all these different corners of the community. Let me shuffle while I speak. So in essence, the buses were a real connective lifeline. And when people chose not to drive in them, use them, it did put a damper on things. It was like you couldn't go out, much like we are right now with the coronavirus, except you were choosing to do it as self-sacrifice for the betterment of the community, which I guess is the same as coronavirus, right? Some people are trying to go outside, other people are trying to do they self, what have you. But the Black community connected on this. The, buses were not getting paid as they should, and that's, long story short, it eventually ended with them conceding to treat Black people with respect. Much the same, we have this issue where I think the spiritual Black community is really separated. And so it feels really good to kind of serve as this conductor of, in essence, a connection between everybody. The spiritual Black girls page, it attracts certain people. Sometimes people leave because it's just not their cup of tea. I'm not their cup of tea. That's totally fine. I hope there are other pages like mine and pages that I could follow that are fun and just, to encourage the spiritual Black girl in me, inspire, all those beautiful things that you really need to continue on this journey, this spiritual path. It can be really draining when people are like, cards are the devil. Any message you get that's not Jesus is the devil. I have to delete a lot of comments on there. Mostly we're protected, but the comments I do get, I'm just like, whoa, like, dude, you are disgusting. Like, I get some really terrible comments. I've posted a couple on there, but mostly I keep it private, keep it chill. Anyway. All right, my card. Your card. All right, so I'm ready for a good message. How about you? All right, so I have a Four of Pentacles, and you have a Four of Cups. Look at that. And they both look really, at peace. Yours looks a little more at peace and, receiving blessings. And mine definitely looks like she's holding her own there. I'm really excited to see what the author has to say, but overall, I see, peace. I see advantages, things that we could be taking advantage of. So let's start with me. Right. Four of Pentacles. Often the heights of success come with a price of its own. This hard-working goddess has worked very hard to obtain her Four Pentacles. She's tired, but sees it as necessary that she tightly holds on to all her pentacles. Her financial stability is clear. However, her toxic possessiveness is as well. So is her happiness really making her happy? Although the Four of Pentacles represents a person whom has achieved financial success, it also represents a person who may be allowing greed to take over. You may have lost focus and become blindsided by the financial gain you have experienced, and now your possessiveness is hurting you. You may feel vaguely unhappy as you're not enjoying the fruits of your labor, but exerting extra energy into harshly protecting them. Relax some, goddess. Do not value money above its worth, for abundance comes in many forms. All right, I think this is a really good one for me to see because I have been trying to, get certain things for my family and being really stressed out about like shortages and things like that, and just not really capable of, jumping into opportunities that maybe I could, or, getting things that maybe I could. Like, I don't know. I talk a lot of shit because I stress. I told y'all, I got, like, gray hairs, okay? I got them. Sometimes they shine in the light. I tried to dye them with henna. I tried to make a video about it. I got lazy. It happens. But my point is I'm a stressor. I'm definitely somebody whose, like, heart gets all tight and scared and stuff. And so I have to really actively pay attention to that. So I think that was a good message for me to remember to sometimes let go, sometimes enjoy myself, splurge, and not just be so stressed about the future and like trying to be a money hoarder with what little money I have, I guess. I was pulling a Bezos on myself, I suppose. It happens, but you know, somebody does need to talk to you before it's $1 trillion. Okay, so for you, we have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a moment of pause and contemplation. This meditating goddess has 3 offers at her feet and one literally being handed to her. However, she's so focused inward, she has neither accepted nor rejected the offerings. Ooh, honey. You need to look around you, see what's being offered. Sometimes, though, I'm with you. I get really, stressed about what's going on all around, and I just need to, like, block off and chill for days. So I'm with you. Don't worry about it. But you're concentrating on what could be best for her. She's strong in her patience. She knows what is for her will be there when she does choose to open her eyes to accept it. The Four of Cups is a moment when new opportunities are presenting themselves to you. However, you may be finding you are slow to accept. Don't worry, destiny is destiny, and what is for you will always be available when the time is right. So take this time and really prioritize to decide which offer is best. Make sure you are in alignment as you do, for this is how you will get to your truest decision. So yes, don't be so withdrawn. Don't be overly withdrawn from the opportunities, from accepting help. You know what I mean? Like, these are crazy ass times. Shit, I'm sure you could probably use, like, I lost my job to coronavirus for the next, like, 2-3 years. When it's time to reopen, you know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to use what you have, to accept offers that are being given to you, to try and get ahead while you can in some way. There are opportunities lurking, and some of them may be worth the risk. And some of them you may not even be realizing you're being offered, which would be really sad. So, honey, step forth and make sure you are connecting with all the possibilities that you have. All right, thank you so much for watching this card reading with me, and I'll see you later, friend. See you next time, should I say. And may your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads.